Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So we've done the first part of this course. I taught you how to do programming on Lego robot. Now we will use another tool to make programs. The programs that we did on for Lego runs on Lego, on those robots. But now we want to create programs that runs on the PC, on the computers, Microsoft environment. There's a tool in your computer. It's called Visual Studio 2010, and when you click in here, you'll see it Visual Studio 2010. If it's not available here, you click on All Program, and it should be here 2010. This is the latest development tool by Microsoft. What does this tool allow you to do? This development environment allow you to create website. It allows you to create programs on here that you can run on Windows. It allows you to create games. It allows you to create many things. And it allows you to create programs using different programming languages. Now we use the Lego robot, drag and drop. They have their own programming language. Now you've heard of... All right, and so this tool allows you to create multiple programs using different programming languages. Now you heard about Java. I know most of you heard about Java. The language that we will learn today is similar to Java. Okay, and the way what we're going to do today, we're going to create a small program. I'll pause it and allow you to run it. I'm going to create a folder. You do the same thing. Call this folder CIS 1403, and then we put all the project in that folder. That way you keep track of them. So I'm going to create file, a new, what? When you click on new, there are several things that you can do. You can create a project, you can create a website. But we are, in this course, we only deal with creating a project. We only deal with creating a project. Okay, so I'm going to say file, new, project. And then in this project, we will have to tell it where do you want to store the project. So for example, where the location is, the name of the project, and the location of that project. Now you have several options here. One of them is Visual Basic. One of them is C#. We will be using C#. So when you click on C#, more options appear here. The first one that we will do is called console application. Okay, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. You have a lot more. You have, for example, you can create a form, a window applications. You can create this thing called console application. But for now, we select console application. And we have to give it a name, the name of the project. So we'll call the first project HelloWorld. Okay. When you're naming project, you name project using the easiest way and the simplest way, just use alphabetics. You can use numbers, but you cannot start with a number. Also, it's better not to use spaces. You can use spaces if you want, but it's better not to use spaces. All right, now you can select where do you want to store the project. So you click on Browse. And for example, I have already a folder called CIS 1403. So I can go and store it in there. And I can recommend you doing the same thing. Okay. Okay, so now I will create a folder. When you select the parent folder, it will create, your project would be a folder. And inside the project, you will have multiple files. So I'm going to say select folders. Okay. So my project that I will create, the name of it is what? Hello World. And what? It will be stored in this location. Now, if I hit OK, I will get something similar to what you've seen in Lego or robotics, but here it's a little bit obviously more involved and more complicated. Okay, what do you see on the screen? Code. You see code. This is the coding that you will use to run your application. Now there's a lot of things here that don't mean a lot. Can you guys see in the back? Should I make it bigger? Let me just change the font here quickly. Okay, I guess I'll change it later, okay? So now we change the font size. Now what are all of these? Now, when you were doing Lego robot, you have only a start. Do you remember the start? Here is the same thing, but it looks like code. Where is my starting point? Do you see this thing called static void main? This is where I start programming. Inside of it, you have bracket, and then you have bracket. So all the coding for now goes between this bracket and that bracket. واضح؟ طيب, what else do you have? Do you remember that what is the name of the object, the project? HelloWorld. So it's called HelloWorld. Okay? And this is a class. The name of the class is a program. What is the class and do you remember when we talked about object oriented and I told you things have attributes, descriptions, and properties? This is a class. It's like an object. Okay? Remember when we put the motor, when we said this is an object, it has speed, it has direction, all of these things, objects and methods and properties. It's the same thing. Here we have a class called program. Inside that class, we have a method, a function that allow me to do what? Run this application. That's why it's called main. Right. What can we do with these things? Now in here, we have to learn the language of programming. We have to know what language do we use in order to do programming. Yani, we need to learn the computer language. What does the computer understand? Now, what we are writing, it's a computer language called C#. You have Java, you have Visual Basic, you have PHP, you have all these programming languages. At the end, you compile it. You remember when we downloaded the program and we checked everything is okay? We compile it. Then we produce a program, then we can run it. When we were downloading to the robot, it was downloading and checking everything is okay. We compile it. We change it to a program. Then the robot, when you run it, you're actually running the program. You're not running the pictures and all these symbols that you saw on the robot. No, it actually translated to something that the computer understands. So all the things that we write here, at the end, they have to be translated to a program, which is a computer machine language. Okay? All right. The first thing we want to do, we just wanted to create a program that say hello. Okay? Hello, everyone. Okay? How do we say or we write something to the screen? How we do it, we have to issue a command, an instruction to the computer in order to do that. And the command is what? شو عندك يعني? What do you have, question? All right, so we have to issue a command to the computer to say display something on the screen, write something on the screen. How do we issue a command that tells us that? You have a command called console. When you type in CON, you will get an option. Do you see these options? Okay, so it'll help you give you the command. So if I know what the word is, it's called console. So all I need to do is I click on console. Select that, or select it with the space bar. When you select it, hit the space bar, it will select it. Now this console is what? What is the console? The console is a black screen. I'll show you what that means in a minute. When you type in, I don't know if you've seen this or not. Sometimes you see this screen on when you CMD. You know that? Yeah. Now this is a console. All right, this is command. This is a console. This is something that appears on the screen. It's called console. Okay. Right. If I want to write something to this screen, how do I do it? We go back to our application. This is the console. I tell it, console, write something. How do you say write? You just simply type in W and then type in write. When you say write, you have two options. One option is simple write, and one option is write line. What is the difference between write and write line? I'll show you by example in a minute. But Write line is that you write a text, a sentence on the screen, and it will go, when you're done, it will go to the next line. Write, it writes whatever you want, but it stays on the same line. Okay? So if we go to write line for now, and then we'll say, hello everybody, right? Okay. Now let me explain this, what this means. So it says, I'm asking the object or the class console to write something on the screen. What do you write? You write whatever you tell it. So I'm issuing a command to write something on the screen. What does that command say? Hello everybody. Now this, obviously, it's not English. Yeah, if I have to write this in English, what do I have to say? I have to say, write something, or write hello everybody on the screen, right? This is how I would have to write it on the console if I have to write it in English, right? But we cannot use English language here. We have to use a programming language. So we need to learn the programming language in order to issue the command. Yeah, there are special keywords that we'll have to learn to issue commands. So this is one of them. Console.write is one command. All right. What can we do with this thing? It says, okay, you want to write something. What do you want to write? Do you see these two between brackets? Okay, those are the things that will appear on the screen. This is called string. String is like text. يعني تعرفوا text يعني زي message, yeah. String, usually strings is what it is. Usually it is quoted. It has like double quotations at the beginning and an end. So anything between those two will appear on the screen. واضح? So now if I run it, it will run, but you will not see it it will flash on the screen and disappear. No, watch what happened. How do we run our program? We don't need to do save here. Automatically when you run it, it will save it, but it's a good idea to save it. So when you do Control S, it will save it. Right. Do you see this thing here? Do you see this arrow above? Debug. Do you remember the word debug we've used before? When we were testing the program, when we were doing the robot, we were debugging, right? There was a mistake, fix the mistake. There was a mistake here, go fix the mistake. That is called debugging, okay? Or you can go in here and debug and click on Start Debugging, or just hit F5. So there's many ways to run this program. Yeah. So either F5, you go in here into the menu, click on Start Debugging, or just click on this simply and then it will debug. Now if I run it, watch what will happen. You're not going to see it because it's very quick. It'll appear black screen on the screen and disappears. Yeah? Do you see that? Okay. Huh? Yeah, you can do it the same. Just a minute. I'll give you a minute to practice. We're not done. So what we want to do, we want that screen to stay on the screen, that black box to stay on the screen. How do we do it? We will say, write this, but also wait for me to hit the enter key. Wait for me to hit the enter key. Meaning one. So like I write and I'll ask, read something from the screen. When you see read something from the screen, it will wait for you to do something, to read. How do you do this? Right. So what do you do? Same thing. We have write, right? We have write. Correct. So when you hit space, we have also what? We have, instead of write line, we have read line. Yeah, read line or read line. Okay. So what does that do now for me? It will say you wanted to write something, and then the read line, it's waiting for you to type something on the keyboard. So when you type something and you hit the enter key, it finishes. So this one here, it's writing on the screen. This one, it's waiting for you to type something and hit the enter key. If you don't hit the enter key and keep typing, it'll continue to wait. Yeah? But when you hit the enter key, it goes, it's done. Then what's after this? Is there anything after this? So what happens to the program? It finishes. So we have, how many commands do we have in the program? 2 commands. Do you remember how we used to put the motors after each other? Same thing here. It's like you're giving steps for the program to do. All right? So now if I run it, watch what will happen. We go back to debug. It's waiting. All right? Now I can type in a message, enter. I can say to the user, hit the enter key to close. Now the program, if I give this program to the user, does the user know what is he supposed to do? No, it just says, okay, I have something on the screen, right? But if I want to make my program user friendly, I have to give the user instructions on the screen. Say what? Enter, press the enter key to quit. You get the idea? So now if I hit enter, or I can type, watch, I can type here. But nothing happened with everything that I typed. This typing doesn't do anything with it. We don't do anything with it. I'll show you later how we do something with it. If I hit the enter key, it finishes, right? Yeah? So go ahead. Did you do it?
Yes.
Should I continue then?
Yes.
All right. But let's make something funny. Now we see that black screen. It's only printing text, right? What if we want to... before we do that, how do we add a message to the user to say, press the enter key to quit?
By console write and write line, after that bracket.
Okay, where do we put it?
Under the console list.
Under the
third step, third one.
the third? Do you agree? Do we put it under the third step?
The second.
Maybe second because
Why the second?
line is the end.
At the end.
Right. So this one would write, right? If we put it after this, what happens? It will appear on the screen and will close. It doesn't. So it does this first, and after that, it would. So the user doesn't see the message. Press the enter key to quit. So we have to do it before that read line. Okay. So what do? You can you can do copy and paste, right? At the beginning, I recommend you do what? You type it. Why? So you get used to it. So you remember it. You don't have to memorize them. You get the idea? So we say console
Write line.
space dot writeline and then bracket, press enter to quit. Okay?
Sometimes it's red line under the word.
Red line. Oh, manata. If you put it red line under the word after the word, mean that there is a problem with that line. They have a problem with that line. Okay, that's what it means. If you have, look, watch. If I type in, if I misspell this word, if I didn't put the e at the end, yeah. Now if I go in here, get a red line. What does it mean? That there is something wrong with that line. There is an error with that line. So how do you fix it? You make sure that the spelling is correct. Okay?
And you want to spell okay.
Make sure, no, it doesn't matter.
No, sir.
Oh yeah, it does matter here. Here it has to be capital letter. It's case sensitive, meaning what? It means that if it is uppercase, you have to use uppercase. Lowercase, you have to use lowercase. Okay? So to fix it, you just go back and hit the enter key. Put the E. Did it work or no? Okay, just give me a minute and I'll show it to you, okay? Then what happens? Here I have these white spaces. Do you see those white lines? Do they mean anything? They don't mean anything. Even if you have blank lines at the program doesn't look at those. What does it look? It looks at the command. Now notice when I'm writing the command, what do you have at the end of each line statement? Semicolon. Semicolon determines the end of the statement. If you don't have a semicolon, you will get an error. If I just delete this,
It will become filled like this.
it will get, you have an error, right? Right? Even when you build it, it will give you an error. But you have red means you have an error. Okay? So all you need to do, you do what? You type in semicolon and we'll set it. Now I'll teach you all these things, but we're just creating a small program first, okay? If I have a missing quotation here, do you think you'll have an error or not?
Yes.
Why? Because you have to have a matching quotations. So you need put quotations. If you have a missing bracket here, do you think it will have an error or not?
Yeah.
So you need matching brackets.
Will come well-built error.
Right? Clear? Now, if we run this application, what it do? It just, do you see that? Hello world, hello everybody, and press enter key to quit. Yeah? Right. Notice, where is this cursor? Under the line, right? Why is it under, not on the same line? Yeah, but what are the commands that we're using?
Writeline.
Right line.
Right line. Do you see that? What does it right line mean? It means
Line alone.
it means after you write the sentence, skip to the next line. So now, if I want to, if you want to stop the program, your program is running right now. Okay, so how do we stop the program if it is running? You should be able to stop it from here. Here. Do you see this here? Here on top, yeah? Do you see this here, this box?
Yes.
Okay, if you wanted to stop it, your program, you just simply click on
We don't have the
that. You don't have it? Because, no, if it's running, only if it is running, then you can see that. If it's not running, you can't see that. Alright? Now watch. If we use here, write instead of write line, what do you think will happen? If we run it again, if we run it again,
the-
where is the cursor?
After the
On the same line.
that if I write something, it will be in the same time.
Right.
In the same time.
If you use write line, after you finish the sentence, hello everybody, what will happen? It will go to the next line. If you use write, it will write the sentence and stay on the same line. Alright? Clear?
Clear.
Alright. Now, I want to change the color. I want to change the background color of the text. Yani we want to change the background color to blue or red or whatever color you want. Now, which command we have to use? It has to be related to console, something color, right? Background color, right? So we say console. If we say console,
Color.
yeah, console dot background color equal to what? To the color that we want. You have something called console color, right?
Yeah.
Select that and then hit the dot after that. You can select whatever color you want. Now, if you select black, does it make any difference?
No.
Why? Because the screen is already black. But if you select white, what will happen?
Will be nothing. Because the right in
The text is white, right? So you cannot see the text. Okay? So what color do we want to use? Let's use blue for now. Okay? Now, this is the end of the list statement. So what do we have to do with that statement?
Dot and comma, this one.
No, not that. Semicolon, right? Semicolon, right? So we will put semicolon. All right? You got the idea?
Nothing happened.
Now run it and see what happens. Yeah? It's different. Yeah, it is different. What do we have? Hello, everybody. And the background color of the text is blue. Yeah.
لازم تخلونها فوق أول شيء.
Here. So the first thing we're doing is that changing the background color of the text to blue. After that, everything that you write will have a background of blue. Yes, question?
The line be on the top of the text.
Okay, good question. Can I put this line? Watch, Shabab. If I do Control X here, and where do you want to put it?
After the
After here?
yeah.
Okay.
Nothing will happen.
If I run it again, let's see what happens. Where is the color?
Because after the text for the other.
Right, because I changed the color after I wrote the text. So here the order is important. When you were doing the robotic, when you were putting things in order, it's important. The same thing here. Okay.
If we put in the middle of writing, press enter, it will be black.
Right. If you put it between the two statements, if we go back in here, if I put this, if I do the blue here, for example, Control X, and then I just put it in here,
For the second.
it will be for the second. Right? Let's go back and then leave it where it was. Control X, and let's put it back at the beginning. At the beginning, yeah. Type. When you run it, what's going to happen when we run it? Watch. Here I have the blue background, correct. But what's going on here? Why is this? The first one is this, the blue is short, right?
Yeah.
The second one is the blue is bigger. Why is that? And why? How can we make them the same size? Type. If we go back to the program, look. Which one is longer? Which one is longer?
Press enter to.
Press enter to quit. So you're writing more things on the screen. But how can I add things at the end of the statement even though I don't have anything to write? I can put spaces. Spaces. How do you add spaces? You go before the text, before the quotation, and then you just put
To be equal.
to be equal. Now they're not equal still. Why not equal? Because here is we have, I'm going to do right line so you can see the difference. So now they are about the same. One more and they will be equal.
No equal.
Yeah? Now if I run it, it will have both sides. We have a problem, right? Notice what happens. It says when I run it, you have a problem. Do you want to continue? Say no. And then it'll tell me where the problem is, right? What is the problem? Right line is capital. So here you have to be careful with the capitalization. Okay? Now if we run it, notice they are the two sizes, same size. Okay? Yeah. Clear? All right. So that is the first section. I'm going to give you an exercise. I'll go around and make sure that you have everybody's working. After, I'm going to give you an exercise to draw the UEE flag on the screen.
Okay.
All right. So the next exercise, we want to draw the UEE flag. How do you do that? I'll give you a hint. We will have to use spaces, white spaces, and then we'll have to use different colors. For example, how many colors do we have?
16.
What? No, in the UEE flag, how many colors do we have?
5.
Four, بلا.
So you have the red, you have the green, you have the black, and then you have the white. Okay? So that's the exercise.
How do we put
Yeah.
I know.
Huh?
Space. بعدين شيء يسميه هذا.
Good question. Let me stop this and then.
No need for.
Because we have the red on the side.
All right. So what we want to do, we want to change. We want to draw the UEE flag on the screen. The first thing we need to do, we need to know the problem in front of us. The UEE flag, it has 4 colors plus the red on the left-hand side. So we have to break the problem into a smaller problem. One of the things that we have is that first we need to start with the red color. So we say console dot background color, guys, I'm recording, equal what? Equal console color dot red. Now when you change it to red, what happens? You want to draw part of the flag on the same line. You don't want to draw the whole line as red. So you use right instead of right line. Why right, not right line? Because you want to stay on the same line. If you use right line, it will take you to the next line. So we'll say console dot right line, right, and you determine how many spaces you want. Now every space you put here it will have a background of red. So it will appear as red on the screen. So you will put, let's say this, okay, close the quotation and close the line, semicolon. Okay, now on the same line, what do I need to do? I want to draw the green. So instead of background red, here we say what? Control copy, Control V, and then here instead of red we use green. Okay. Now we use what? Read line. Sorry, write line. Why write line here? Why write line not?
Because you go to another line.
Because when we finish, we want to go to the next line. So I'll just do console dot write line here instead of write, and I have to put obviously more spaces. Why more spaces here? Because the green is bigger than the red. So we're done with this part. Then what do? You copy and paste this a few times. Okay? So you do Control copy. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many lines are these now? Every right line is a line. So how many times did we do it? We did it 5 times. So you will have 5 times. Okay, and the next is after you've done all your drawing, you do console dot read line. Okay. Now, if we test our program, you will get what? Only one line. Only, because that's all I did. I did only the red and the green. Next is to do what?
Change the color.
Then those guys that are using the mobiles, put it away. Then next to do what? You do the same thing, but instead of green, what do we use? White, right? So what do? You just go back in here. Now I already solved the problem. All I need to do is just copy and paste this and only change what? Few things. Okay, so this is the green. Control copy. And then I'll just go underneath it. I leave a space between them. Why do I leave a space between them? So I know I make my code looks okay. I make my code easy to read. Okay, so I say I'm gonna put a comment. How do you add a comment in here? You put 2 lines. Do you see those things in here? 2 lines. These 2 lines allow you to add comments on your program, documentation. So you can say here, draw the white now. White, okay? This is like comments for me, like notes. I'm taking notes and putting them in the program. So it has nothing to do with the programming. It's just notes in the program so I understand what am I doing. Okay? So next is Control V and what? Change. Instead of green, here what do we use? White. So same thing except for white. Okay, white here, white. And here white. And white. And white. Now notice what will happen. If I run it again, you'll see now I have 2 colors. The red, the green, and the white. 3 colors. Now the last part is what? The black. Now the screen is already black, right? The screen is already black. So do I need to draw black?
No.
I don't need to draw the black part. We only draw the red. But you can, if you want, to know it. So you just repeat this. For example, again, we copy and paste. So that was what? That was the white. Now we write a note for us again, comment, we call it. Now draw the black. Okay? and then we do Control V because I already have it. Now I already have what? Green, so you can just type in black if you want to. It doesn't matter because, or you can just delete this line, right? You don't delete the lines, but you delete. You actually can delete the lines too if you want. Okay, but I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, I'm going to leave it. So instead of green, what do we put? Black. Okay, and just copy and paste this. Okay, so black, and then here also black. And here also black. Now why I did all of this? Somebody said Mayibala. Okay, why? Why? Why does it need all of this? Tell me. So here is the flag. طيب, if you want to put an edge on the flag, يعني أنا بدي يطلع هون تحديد. How do you do that? I will leave it up to you to do it, but you can do it. Okay, you can do it. Yeah. No, there is no border. Now we write all the program. We do all the programming. Okay. يعني at the end here you will have to do two instead of one right. You will have to use يعني one right and one right line. You will have to use right line. Watch this. Watch this. I'll show you. Here is the beginning, right? This is where we doing what? We're doing the writing, yeah? So now if I do this, if I do this, شايفين هذا الكيبورد above the enter, okay? Now if you run it, watch what will happen. Do you see these lines? Okay. Do you see at the here what you do? Yani at the end of each line, you just put this. You just this. Or if you don't want this, you can put what? Yani you can put star. You can put anything you want. Any character that you put will appear. يعني إذا حطيت أنا مثلا U. حطينا U. Okay. If we put U again here at the end, and again here we put U at the end. Okay. Now if you run it, you will have U. Do you see those? You cannot see it in the color because the color is white. Okay. All right, let me finish this and then I'll explain it. Okay, we're done with this video. Okay, so yeah, Abiyad, you can. I'll explain it in a minute. Okay, we're done with this video. Okay, this video allow you to just the things that we learned today are what? How to create